Only 9% of people over the age of 70 in Asia can rise from a chair without using their hands. But those who can are likely to live at least 8 more years than those who can't. Yes, you heard that right. Something as simple as standing up from a chair without pushing off with your hands can predict how long you'll live and how independently. And that's just one of the 8 quiet but powerful signs I'm going to reveal to you today. But before we begin, let me ask you something honestly. When was the last time you woke up feeling truly refreshed, full of energy, ready to take on the day? How long has it been since you walked briskly home from the park without needing to catch your breath? Do you sometimes find yourself slowing down without realizing it, your hands trembling while holding a bowl, or struggling to recall a name that used to come so easily? If any of that feels familiar, then this video is for you. And if you've ever been told it's normal to get weaker with age, memory loss, that's just part of getting older. No point in exercising now, just enjoy whatever time you've got left. Then today, I'm here to gently but firmly challenge those beliefs. Because I'm not here to talk about decline. I'm here to show you that even at 70, 80, or beyond, your body is still capable of growing stronger, of regaining what was once lost. You may be holding on to hidden treasures, abilities you've taken for granted, that quietly prove you're not just aging, you're thriving. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Hoshino Daisuke. I specialize in geriatric medicine, the science of aging, and the art of helping older adults stay strong, independent, and full of life. For more than 25 years, I've worked at leading institutions like Kyoto University Hospital and Japan's National Geriatric Center. And in all that time, I've witnessed to very different kinds of aging. I've met 85-year-olds who ride their bikes every morning, cook their own meals, write in journals, and remember their grandchildren's birthdays better than their children do. And I've cared for 66-year-olds who were already bedridden, not because of disease, but because they lost touch with what their bodies were still capable of. The truth is this: your body gives up only when you stop asking it to serve you. And it rewards you, quietly, daily, when you keep using it. That's why today, I want to invite you on a very different kind of health journey. One where we don't talk about pills or hospital visits, but instead, we gently evaluate the most important questions. Can your legs still lift you up with ease? Can you still walk with purpose? Can you balance on one foot while brushing your teeth? Can you recall what you had for dinner 2 nights ago without hesitation? Each of these may sound small, but together they form a powerful map, a way to measure your hidden longevity, your real resilience, your living potential. Let me share some shocking truths you may have never heard. A Japanese study showed that 60% of people over 70 can't balance on one foot for more than 10 seconds, and those who can't have a 7 by higher risk of falling within a year. In South Korea, researchers found that for every 0.1 meter per second decrease in walking speed, the risk of dying in the next 5 years increases by 34%. In Vietnam, a 2021 survey found that 82% of seniors feel their bodies weakening daily, yet only 5% know what signs to look for to prevent serious decline. Why am I telling you this? Because aging isn't a collapse. It's a process of selective preservation. Your body keeps what you use and quietly lets go of what you neglect. It doesn't care how old you are. It only asks, are you still using what I gave you? So in this video, I'm not just listing symptoms or giving you a quiz. I want to tell you a story, a real one, about a man named Mr. Kenji, who was 79 when I met him. He thought he was just waiting for the end. His children had suggested a nursing home. He'd stopped going outside. He said he felt like an old car left in the garage. But just 3 months later, Kenji was walking to the market every morning. He laughed again. He climbed stairs without holding the rail. And all of that because he discovered he still had 4 of the 8 key abilities I'm about to share with you. If you're still watching this, you're already different. You're not giving in. You're not someone who says, I'm too old for that. If you're still watching this, you're already different. You're not giving in. You're not someone who says, I'm too old for that. If you're still watching this, you're already different. You're not giving in. You're not someone who says, "I'm too old for that." In the next part of this journey, we'll explore the first and most overlooked sign, something so simple you might dismiss it. But it's actually one of the strongest predictors of how long you'll live and how long you'll stay independent. We'll walk through it together, as if we're sitting in a quiet room, sharing tea, listening not just to facts, but to the truth of your own body. Because aging doesn't have to mean shrinking, it can mean deepening. It can mean living on your own terms, longer than anyone ever thought you could. Growing old is not the end, it's the chance to live deeper. And to do it with wisdom, clarity, and strength. SIGN 1. Standing up from a chair without using your hands. If you can't stand up from a chair without using your hands, your body may be aging 5 to 7 years faster than you think. If you can't stand up from a chair without using your hands, your body may be aging 5 to 7 years faster than you think. But in reality, this simple movement contains powerful insights into your muscle strength, balance, coordination, and most importantly, your risk of early functional decline and death. Imagine an ordinary morning. You're sitting in your chair, holding a warm cup of tea. The doorbell rings. You stand up effortlessly, without leaning forward, without using your hands, without feeling off balance. You walk to the door, steady and confident. If you can still do that, congratulations. You're among a rare group. Only 14% of people over 70 in Asia can still do this without assistance. The story of Kimiko, 82 years old, Japan. I met Kimiko at a community health checkup in Osaka. She entered the room calmly, but her eyes carried a quiet sadness. When I gently asked her to try standing from a chair without using her hands, she paused. 1.3. She leaned forward, struggled, and then sat back down, smiling softly. "I guess I just can't do that anymore." As we talked, she admitted that for over 6 months now, she had stopped trying to stand up without pushing off. "What if I fall? Who's going to help me?" she sighed. That moment wasn't just about physical weakness, it was about the fear of losing control. The fear that one day you might not be able to rise on your own, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Sobering statistics. A study from Tokyo University showed that seniors over 65 who cannot stand up from a chair without using their hands are 2.4 times more likely to be hospitalized from a fall. Harvard researchers found that quadriceps strength thigh muscles decreases by 10% every decade after age 50, unless actively maintained. Losing the ability to stand up independently is often the beginning of a functional decline cascade. Reduced mobility gives dependency, gives depression, gives higher healthcare costs. Let's look at a well-known figure, actor Anthony Hopkins. Even in his 80s, the Oscar-winning actor walks daily, plays piano, and yes, he can squat and stand without support like someone half his age. In one interview, he said, "I don't fear growing old. I fear the day I can't rise from my chair." He shared how, every morning, he practices standing up from a low seat, not to stay young, but to remind his body it still belongs to him. Now, let's turn to you. Try this simple test. Sit in a firm chair with no armrests. Cross your arms over your chest. Try standing up, without using your hands, without leaning forward too much. If you can do this easily, type in the comments. "I still have my strength." If it feels difficult, don't worry. Because muscle can be rebuilt at any age. Here's how to improve it, with just 5 minutes a day. Chair stand practice. Sit in a low chair and stand up using only your legs. Do 10 reps a day. Heel raises. Stand tall, lift your heels off the ground, and lower slowly. 15 reps each morning. One leg balance. Stand on one leg for 10 seconds each side, using a wall for support if needed. Don't wait for your strength to return on its own. Call it back with tiny, daily acts of motion. Final words. The ability to rise from a chair may seem small, but it is your body's way of telling you, "I can still support you. I can still move you forward." You are not dependent yet. So preserve that small action, because when you can still rise, You can still choose how you live. SIGN2. You can walk at a brisk pace without feeling out of breath. For every 0.1 meter per second decrease in your walking speed, your risk of death within 5 years increases by 34%. Journal of Internal Medicine, 2022. Yes, something as ordinary as walking, not running, not hiking, just walking briskly, can silently predict how many years you may have left to live. Because walking isn't just transportation. It is the single most powerful indicator of how well your heart, lungs, muscles, brain, and nervous system are working together, right now, and into your future. Let me take you to a quiet, rainy afternoon in Kyoto. Mr. Shigeru, 77 years old, a retired mathematics professor, came to see me for a routine checkup. I asked him to walk down a hallway, just 10 meters. He smiled and began walking. But halfway through, he slowed down, then stopped, breathing heavily. "Doctor, let me rest a little. I've been walking slower these days." When I asked further, he said, "I used to walk to the train station, climb stairs, pick up my granddaughter from school. Now, even going to the market tires me out." That moment said everything. His body wasn't falling apart from disease. But his walking speed, this subtle but vital sign, was telling me. His stamina, circulation, and internal energy are fading faster than he realizes. Some startling facts you may not know. A landmark study from the University of Pittsburgh in 2011, involving over 34,000 seniors, concluded, walking speed is a more accurate predictor of life expectancy than blood pressure or cholesterol. Seniors over 70 who walk slower than 0.8 meters per second, taking more than 12 seconds to walk 10 meters, are 2.5 times more likely to die within 3 years than those who walk faster. In Japan, the average walking speed for someone aged 65 is around 1.2 to 1.4 meters per second. If you can maintain that speed, your chances of living independently and healthily into your 90s increase by over 60%. Let's talk about a national treasure, Kazuo Sakamoto, a former track and field athlete. Kazuo was a medalist in the 1970s. After retiring, he lived a quiet life. But at the age of 72, he reappeared in the public eye with a video that went viral across Japan. In the video, he's seen walking 5 kilometers a day, through forests, over bridges, up hills, at a steady, brisk pace that would impress a man in his 50s. When asked about his secret, he simply said, "I don't let myself slow down. Because every time I walk slower, I feel like I'm inching closer to death." For Kazuo, walking wasn't exercise. It was his way of measuring the pulse of his life. Now let's turn to you. Try this simple test. Measure a straight 10-meter path, in your home, on the street, or in your yard. Walk it as if you're trying to catch a train that's about to leave, not a stroll, but a mission. Time yourself. If you walk the 10 meters in under 9 seconds, you're doing well. If you pass the test, drop a comment. My rhythm is still strong. If you struggle or feel breathless, don't worry. Because this is one of the easiest signs to improve, with small daily habits. Why is brisk walking so powerful? Because walking is the one action that activates nearly every survival system in your body. Heart rate increases improves blood flow to the brain, lowers risk of stroke and dementia. Lung function increases improves oxygen exchange reduces fatigue, sharpens focus. Leg, core, and back muscles coordinate enhances balance, reduces fall risk. Brain releases endorphins lowers anxiety, boosts mood, supports memory. Brisk walking is not just a movement, it's your body's daily rehearsal for life. If you can still do it, your body is still fighting for you. So how can you walk better and breathe easier over time? Walk 15 minutes every day, even just around your home or block. Add bursts every 3 minutes. Walk a little faster for 30 seconds. Swing your arms, walk with rhythm. Head up, no phone, no slouching. You don't need to walk like an athlete. You just need to push yourself slightly further than yesterday. Bit by bit, your walking speed will reflect a deeper strength inside you. Let's reflect: past, present, future. Maybe in the past, you could walk for miles without even noticing. Maybe now, you stop more often than you'd like. But your future, that's still in your hands. It starts when you walk again with purpose. When each step reminds you, I still have places to go. Picture yourself at 85, still walking through the park, still escorting your grandchild to school, or simply stepping out onto your balcony to greet the morning sun, with no one holding your arm. A gentle challenge each time you go outside this week. Ask yourself, can I walk like I'm going somewhere that matters? Let your steps carry you not just to destinations, but to a deeper version of yourself, independent, proud, and alive. Closing words: walking briskly without getting out of breath may seem like such a small thing. But in truth, it is a sacred ritual your body performs for you each day. One that says, your heart is still strong, your lungs still open wide, you are still full of life. If today you can walk faster than yesterday, then you're still walking in rhythm with life itself. Don't slow that rhythm down, because you deserve an old age that is vibrant, upright, and full of forward motion. SIGN 3. You can balance on one foot for at least 10 seconds. Older adults who cannot balance on one foot for 10 seconds have twice the risk of dying within the next 7 years. British Journal of Sports Medicine, 2022. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Just 10 seconds. One simple movement, standing on one leg, can predict your chance of living longer. But it's true, because when you lose balance, you don't just lose physical stability. You begin to lose control over your independence, your movement, and your confidence to live on your own terms. Think back to this morning. You stood to brush your teeth. Did you try lifting one leg as you did so? Did you wobble? Did you instinctively reach for the wall? Or did you stay steady like someone half your age? If you can still balance like that for 10 seconds, you're doing better than most. You're fighting back against time. The story of Grandma Han, 84 years old, Vietnam. I met her at a mobile health clinic hosted at a temple in Hue. She said, "Doctor, I don't have any big illnesses, but I trip easily. My children won't let me cook anymore." I asked her to try balancing on one foot. She shook her head. "I don't want to try. I know I'll fall." Within 5 seconds, she lost her balance and reached out for my hand. But it wasn't just fear in her eyes. It was the sadness of realizing she could no longer rely on her own body. What does science say about balance? A 2020 Brazilian study involving 1,700 participants ages 51 to 75 found people who couldn't hold a one-legged balance for 10 seconds had twice the risk of death over the next 7 years. Loss of balance is often an early sign of neurological decline, linked to higher chances of developing Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, or suffering a stroke. Another Taiwanese study showed seniors with poor balance were 3.2 times more likely to suffer a hip fracture, and 30% of older adults who break a hip die within a year. These aren't just numbers, they're warnings that when balance goes, independence follows. A well-known example, Jackie Chan. In his 60s and beyond, Jackie Chan still performs martial arts stunts, balances on one leg, and demonstrates remarkable control over his movements. It's not just strength, it's because he's practiced balance every day since youth and never stopped. In an interview, he said, "When you lose your center, you begin to rely on others to stand up." That sounds like a martial arts proverb, but it's also a warning about aging. When you lose your balance, you lose your autonomy. Would you dare to try the 10-second test? Stand near a wall or sturdy surface just in case. Lift one foot off the ground, arms relaxed. Count slowly to 10. Don't close your eyes. If you can do it easily, leave a comment. "I'm still standing strong." If you struggle, don't feel discouraged. Balance can absolutely be retrained at any age. Balance exercises you can do at home just 5 minutes a day. Single leg stand. Hold for 10 seconds on each side. Repeat 3 times. Eyes closed balance. Try balancing with eyes closed to increase difficulty only if safe. core strengthening, gentle crunches, seated leg lifts, or yoga poses like Warrior 3 inches help enhance balance. Safety note, always use support when needed, and don't push too hard. Your balance, past, present, and future. Maybe in the past, you could stand for hours cooking or cleaning. Maybe now, you sit down halfway through your chores. But in the future, you can regain enough control to wash yourself, take the stairs, or reach high shelves on your own. Your mindset affects your balance more than you think. Fear of falling makes you tense, gives tension, makes you wobble, gives wobbling, confirms your fear. But belief in your body makes you softer, gives softness, makes you stable, gives stability, rebuilds confidence. Your body listens to your beliefs. Every second you dare to stand still on one foot. You reclaim ownership over your movement. Closing words, balance isn't just about standing on one leg. It's about standing your ground in life, not being shaken by age, fear, or loss of ability. If you still have your center, you still get to choose how you live. So begin today. When you brush your teeth, lift a foot. When you wait in line, rise onto your toes. When you live, live grounded. Because stability isn't just physical. It's your way of saying I'm still here, on my own terms. SIGN4. You can get down on the floor and stand back up without assistance. Older adults who cannot sit down and rise from the floor unassisted are up to 6 times more likely to die within the next 6 years. European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, 2014. Yes, something as small as being able to sit down on the floor and stand back up without help is a stronger predictor of longevity than you might ever imagine. If you can still do it, you are carrying a golden ticket to independence and long life. But if you need to hold on to furniture or struggle to stand, then your body is sending you a clear warning. I'm losing strength, coordination, and resilience. The story of Mr. Tam, 75 years old, Vietnam. I first met him during a community fitness class in District 5, Ho Chi Minh City. I invited participants to try a floor mobility challenge, sitting down and standing back up without support. He hesitated and chuckled. "Doctor, if I go down, I might stay down there for good." He tried. He slowly lowered himself to the floor, which he managed. But when it came time to get back up, he fumbled for over a minute and couldn't do it without help. When I asked, "When was the last time you sat on the floor?" he smiled sheepishly, "Probably when my grandkids were still toddlers." Over 10 years ago, that day, I didn't just see a man struggle physically. I saw someone realize he was beginning to lose his freedom. What does science say about floor mobility? A Brazilian study with 2,000 participants aged 51 to 80 revealed those who couldn't sit and rise from the floor without using their hands had a 6.5 times higher mortality rate over the next 6 years. The movement requires coordination of leg and glute strength, knee and hip flexibility, core stability, balance, and cardiovascular endurance. Losing this ability often marks the beginning of, gives increased fall risk, gives loss of independence in bathing, dressing, toileting, gives eventual reliance on full-time care. A celebrity example, Keanu Reeves, the ageless gentleman of Hollywood. Well into his 50s, Keanu continues to train daily. In one interview, he said, "I keep practicing getting down and up from the floor because that's what I want to still be able to do, even when I'm 90. In a viral behind-the-scenes video, Keanu is seen sitting cross-legged on the studio floor for lunch and then standing up gracefully without using his hands, impressing the entire crew. He called it his dignity test for old age. Would you try this right now? Use a soft mat or carpet. Have someone nearby to assist if needed. Slowly lower yourself to the floor, now. Try to get back up without using your hands, knees, or grabbing onto anything. If you succeed, drop a comment, I can still stand tall. If you struggle, don't worry, your body can and will recover with gentle, consistent effort. 3 exercises to help restore your floor mobility. Wall sits, strengthens thighs and glutes. Hold for 30 seconds. Low chair stands. Practice standing up from a low seat without hands. Repeat 10 to 15 times daily. Hip and knee stretches. Yoga poses like child's pose and kneeling to standing transitions improve flexibility. Reminder, always move slowly, stay safe, and never train beyond your comfort level without guidance. Past, present, future. Maybe you used to sit on mats, play on the floor with your grandchildren, or rest on a blanket under the tree. Maybe now you hesitate, afraid you won't be able to get back up. But if you start again today, your future could still include sitting cross-legged, meditating, or bending down to tie your shoes, all by yourself. A gentle word of encouragement. Don't underestimate the ability to sit and rise from the floor. It's not just a physical movement, it's a declaration of independence. A reminder that you still have control. Because when you can rise from the ground, you can rise from anything. Final thoughts. If today, you sat down on the floor and stood back up, your body is sending you a message. I still serve you. I'm still alive and capable, and if you couldn't do it today, start slowly. One day soon, you'll rise without reaching for help. And on that day, you'll feel like you turned back time. SIGN 5, you can carry a full grocery bag without struggling. Grip strength alone can predict your risk of heart disease, cancer, and even early death more accurately than blood pressure. The Lancet, 2015. That's right, not your heart rate, not your cholesterol. Your grip, the simple ability to hold, carry, and lift, may be one of the clearest indicators of how long you'll live. It sounds surprising, but think about it. Every time you carry a grocery bag, lift a suitcase, or hold a grandchild, you're not just using your arms. You're demonstrating the strength of your muscles, joints, coordination, balance, and energy reserves. If you can still carry a heavy bag of groceries up the steps, you're doing more than many 70-year-olds today, and your body knows it. Let me tell you about Mr. Yamada, 79 years old, Japan. I met Mr. Yamada during a neighborhood health check in Nagano. He walked in briskly, holding two cloth shopping bags. As we chatted, I noticed his arms looked lean but toned. I asked if he still did his own shopping. He smiled and said, "I carry my own rice and vegetables home every Tuesday. It's not just a habit, it's my training." I asked him why he did it, when he clearly could afford delivery. He replied, "The day I stop carrying my own food is the day I give up on living alone." Those words hit me hard. Because strength isn't just about physicality, it's about pride, autonomy, and dignity. What does research say about carrying and grip strength? A study published in The Lancet 2015, involving over 140,000 people from 17 countries, found that every 5 kilograms decrease in grip strength was associated with a 16% increase in death risk from any cause. Poor grip strength is associated with -17% higher risk of heart disease, 9% higher risk of stroke, up to 40% increased risk of hospitalization in older adults. In one Japanese study, seniors who could no longer carry more than 5 kilograms unassisted had lower cognitive function scores, increased fall risk by 28%, greater likelihood of entering assisted care within 2 years. A public figure to note, Helen Mirren, award-winning actress. In her 70s, Helen shared her daily routine in an interview, including her commitment to lifting weights and carrying her own shopping. "Strength," she said, "isn't about looking young, it's about living fully. When I stop being able to carry what I need, I'll start losing who I am." In one video, she effortlessly carried her own luggage through an airport without an assistant, setting an example of aging not just gracefully, but powerfully. How do you know if you're still strong enough? Try this. Fill a standard grocery bag with about 5 to 6 kilograms, 10 to 12 pounds of food or water bottles. Lift it and walk around your home for 1 minute without switching hands. If you can do this comfortably and repeatedly, that's a strong sign of good overall health. If you can leave a comment below, "I still carry my life in my own hands." If you struggle or feel pain, don't worry. Strength is the most trainable ability, even in your 80s. Simple ways to rebuild carrying strength: no gym needed. Bag lifts. Use your grocery bag like a dumbbell. Lift it 10 to 15 times with each arm daily. Grip balls. Squeeze a tennis ball or rubber gripper for 1 to 2 minutes per hand. Stair carries. Carry small weights up and down stairs slowly, watching your balance. Even just carrying your groceries in both hands instead of using a cart can make a difference over time. From yesterday to tomorrow, your hands have always carried your life. In the past, you carried children, pots of soup, heavy boxes, and your dreams. Today, maybe your hands feel weaker, or you ask for help more often. But tomorrow, you can rebuild strength, one movement at a time. Because as long as your hands can carry weight, you're still holding on to independence. Remember this, the ability to carry weight is about more than muscles. It's about saying, I still take responsibility for my body. I still move through life with purpose. I still have the strength to be myself. Final thoughts, if today, you can lift a grocery bag and walk with it. You're not just buying food, you're proving something far greater. I still stand tall. I still contribute. I still choose how I live. And if you're not quite there yet, that's okay. Because strength is waiting inside you. You just need to invite it back. So the next time someone asks if you need help carrying something, smile and say, let me try it first. You might surprise yourself, and your body will thank you. SIGN 6. You can climb a flight of stairs without stopping. Your ability to climb stairs is one of the strongest predictors of heart health and long-term survival. European Society of Cardiology, 2020. Let me put it plainly. If climbing one flight of stairs leaves you breathless, your risk of heart disease is up to 3 times higher than someone who climbs with ease. It's not just a staircase, it's a test for your lungs, your legs, your blood vessels, and your spirit. And it can quietly predict whether you'll stay independent into your 90s or struggle to get out of bed in your 70s. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Ito, 76 years old, Japan. Mrs. Ito had always lived in the same 2-story home in Yokohama. But one day, during a checkup, she told me something quietly. I haven't been upstairs in almost 6 months. I asked her why. She looked away and whispered, the stairs scare me now. I get dizzy, my knees shake, I stop halfway. That moment told me everything. It wasn't just fear of stairs. It was the creeping loss of confidence, circulation, and strength. Mrs. Ito didn't need a diagnosis. Her inability to climb stairs without stopping was already a warning, one we had to address before it led to a fall, or worse. What does science tell us about stair climbing and longevity? A study from the European Society of Cardiology found that people who couldn't climb for flights of stairs about 60 steps in under 90 seconds had a higher risk of death from heart disease, cancer, and other causes. In research involving 12,615 participants, those who regularly climbed stairs had lower blood pressure, improved VO to max cardiopulmonary function, reduced arterial stiffness. Harvard researchers found that climbing stairs daily lowered the risk of early death by 15%, even more than walking. Stair climbing is a full-body cardiovascular exercise, more intense than walking, but more accessible than running. A public figure to highlight, Jane Fonda. At age 85, Jane Fonda continues to advocate for movement, including walking stairs daily. She once said in an interview, the moment you avoid stairs is the moment you begin telling your body it's time to decline. In a documentary, she was shown climbing stairs to reach her dressing room, refusing elevators unless absolutely necessary. She calls stair climbing her secret workout. No machines, no gym fees, just determination and gravity. Here's a simple self-check. Find a staircase with at least 10 to 12 steps, one standard floor. Walk up at your normal pace without stopping. At the top, ask yourself, did I breathe easily? Did my knees wobble? Could I do it again? If you climbed with confidence, leave a comment. I still rise, one step at a time. If you stopped or felt dizzy, that's okay. Your body is not broken. It's just asking for training. How to rebuild stair strength. even in your 70s or 80s. Step-ups on a low platform, step up and down for 2 minutes daily. Wall squats or chair squats, strengthen thighs and glutes. Marching in place, improves coordination and endurance. Deep breathing exercises, improve lung capacity. Always use a handrail while training. Balance and safety come first. Past, present, future. Maybe years ago, you used to run up the stairs without thinking. Today, maybe you hesitate at the first step, heart racing, knees weak. But tomorrow, you could climb again, slowly, steadily, joyfully, with the right steps, repeated daily. Stairs don't have to be your enemy. They can become your measure of progress, your silent victory ladder. Here's why stairs matter so much. Every time you climb, you send a signal. My heart is still pumping. My legs still carry me. I'm not done rising. Stair climbing is not just movement, it's metaphor. Final thoughts. If you climbed a flight of stairs today without stopping, you did more than elevate your body. You elevated your future. You said, I don't fear the uphill path. I still have what it takes. Step by step, I still rise. And if you didn't make it all the way today, don't worry. The only thing that matters is that you keep trying. Even one more step tomorrow is a win, because growing old is inevitable. But staying upright, strong, and determined, that's your choice. SIGN7. You can remember recent conversations and events clearly. Losing the ability to remember what happened yesterday is not just forgetfulness, it's an early alarm bell from your brain. We often joke about forgetting names or misplacing keys, but the truth is far more serious. Mild memory loss can be the first visible sign of cognitive decline, and if ignored, it can silently evolve into dementia within 5 to 10 years. Your brain, like your muscles, weakens with disuse. And your ability to remember what you ate last night, what your friend told you this morning, or what day of the week it is one of the strongest predictors of not only mental health, but overall longevity. Let me tell you about Mr. Nam, 80 years old Vietnamese American. Mr. Nam was a retired language teacher who came to my clinic in California with his daughter. She said, he still remembers Shakespeare, but yesterday he forgot he already ate lunch twice. When I spoke to him, he was charming, witty, and then he paused. Doctor, I feel like my thoughts are slipping through a hole in my pocket. That sentence broke my heart, because it told me he still recognized what he was losing and feared the day when he wouldn't. So we began training, not with medicine, but with memory exercises, daily journaling, nutrition, and social engagement. And 3 months later, his daughter sent me a note. Dad remembered my son's birthday for the first time in 2 years, and he baked a cake. It wasn't a cure, but it was a return of dignity. Here's what the science says about memory and longevity. A study published in Neurology 2019 followed 12,000 seniors and found those who retained strong short-term memory into their 70s had a 43% lower risk of developing dementia over the next decade. Poor memory performance is linked to higher inflammation, lower brain volume in the hippocampus memory center, reduced blood flow to the brain. A Harvard Health study showed seniors who read regularly, played memory games, and remained socially active were up to 38% less likely to experience cognitive decline. Let's talk about a living legend, Anthony Hopkins. The Oscar-winning actor, now in his 80s, still memorizes entire scripts, monologues, and musical pieces. When asked how he keeps his memory sharp, he replied, I play the piano, I read new plays, I memorize poetry. I train my mind like an athlete trains their body. Hopkins once said that forgetting is a disease of disuse, and remembering is a muscle of engagement. Would you like to test your memory right now? Try this. Think back. What did you have for dinner 2 nights ago? Try to remember the name of someone you spoke to this morning. What's the last book or article you read? If you answered all 3 easily, leave a comment. My mind is still alive. If you struggled, don't panic. Memory can be trained and rebuilt at any age. Simple ways to keep your memory sharp, starting today. Write a daily journal. Just 5 minutes of reflection improves recall. Read aloud or memorize a short poem every morning. Stay social. Talk with family or friends regularly, even by phone. Brain games, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, memory apps, even just recalling your to-do list in order. Tip: don't rely solely on digital reminders. Let your brain be your calendar, your memory over time. In the past, you remembered birthdays, recipes, childhood songs, without effort. Today, maybe names or appointments slip your mind. But in the future, with gentle training, you can still recall the details that make life meaningful. Faces, moments, stories. Your story. Why memory matters more than we think. Because remembering is not just about facts, it's about identity. Who am I if I no longer remember who I've been? What joy can I feel if I forget the people I love? Memory connects us to our families, our past, and ourselves. It's the thread that holds your soul together. Final words: if today you remembered something that made you smile, if you recalled a small detail from a recent moment, then your mind is still alive, still reaching, still loving. So write, read, talk, memorize ... because every word you remember, every name you recall, every memory you relive, is one more reason to believe I'm still here, fully, clearly, completely myself. SIGN 8. You wake up feeling rested and ready for the day. If you consistently wake up tired, even after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body might be aging 10 years faster than your actual age. Journal of Sleep Research, 2021. Sleep is not just rest, it is recovery, rebuilding, and rejuvenation. And yet, so many people over 65 say, I wake up more tired than when I went to bed. They brush it off as just part of getting older. But here's what most people don't realize. Your sleep, its depth, its rhythm, its quality, is one of the strongest indicators of how long and how well you will live. Let me tell you about Mr. Haruki, 73 years old, Japan. Mr. Haruki was once a night owl, a novelist, a thinker, a quiet man with deep eyes. But by the time he came to see me, he looked exhausted. His skin had dulled, his words came slower. His wife said he napped constantly during the day. I sleep, but I don't feel like I'm truly sleeping, he whispered. So we began gently. We adjusted his evening routine, reduced screen time, encouraged morning walks, magnesium-rich foods, calming tea. 6 weeks later, he returned, brighter, clearer, smiling. Doctor, he said, I dream again. Why sleep matters so much, especially after 60. A 25-year study published in Nature Communications 2021 followed 8,000 people and found those who consistently slept less than 6 hours per night in their 60s had a 30% higher risk of dementia. Poor sleep increases cortisol, stress hormone, inflammation, memory loss, and blood pressure. Good sleep strengthens immune system, cognitive clarity, mood regulation, and longevity. In other words, deep sleep equals longer, better life. A shining example, Tom Hanks. Diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, Hanks radically changed his lifestyle in his 60s, including his sleep habits. He now follows strict sleep hygiene, and he shared in a podcast. Sleep isn't just when I stop, it's when my body and mind start working to keep me here. He meditates before bed, reads fiction instead of scrolling, and attributes his clarity, energy, and memory to one thing above all: sleep. Test yourself. Are you sleeping for longevity or just to survive? Ask yourself honestly, do I wake up naturally or with an alarm, foggy and groggy? Do I feel sharp within the first hour of waking or sluggish and disoriented? Do I nap because I'm truly tired or because my night's sleep was broken? If you answered yes to the first in each, comment below. My sleep restores me. If you feel unrested, don't ignore it. Because sleep problems are not just symptoms, they are silent accelerators of decline. 5 ways to improve sleep quality naturally. Consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. Avoid screens 90 minutes before sleep. Blue light disrupts melatonin. Create a sleep sanctuary, dark, quiet, cool, and uncluttered. Evening ritual, herbal tea, soft music, gentle stretching. Walk in the morning sun, helps regulate your circadian rhythm. Important, if you're waking frequently to urinate or due to pain, speak with your doctor. Treating root causes changes everything. Past, present, future. In the past, you slept deeply, without worrying about tomorrow. Now, maybe you wake at 3 a.m., check the clock, sigh, and wonder if your body is failing you. But in the future, yes, even in your 70s or 80s, you can wake up rested again. Not because you're younger, but because you've learned how to listen to your body's real rhythm. Why sleep is sacred, especially as we age. Because when you sleep deeply, your heart gets stronger. Your brain clears away toxins. Your skin renews itself. Your memories are sorted and protected. Your immune system sharpens. And your soul finally finds peace. Sleep is not wasted time. It is where healing lives. Final words. If you woke up today feeling clear, light, and whole, that is not luck. That is your body saying, I am still working for you. I am still rebuilding you. I still believe in you. If you haven't felt that way in a long time, begin tonight. Turn off the light with intention. Breathe deeply and say to yourself, tomorrow I will rise rested because I choose to care for myself even in sleep. Because a life well rested is a life well lived. The conclusion, a body that still moves, a life that still matters. Only 1 in 10 people over the age of 70 can do all 8 things you just heard. And yet, those rare individuals live longer, happier, and more independent lives. Yes, the odds may seem small, but here's the truth no one tells you. You don't have to do all 8 to live fully. Even holding on to 4 or 5 of these signs means you're aging better than 80% of people your age. And if you've lost some, that's okay, that's human, that's natural. Because the goal was never perfection, it was awareness. Let me say this gently, as your doctor and your companion on this journey. Aging doesn't happen overnight, and neither does decline. It happens slowly, through small things. The first time you use a hand to get out of a chair, the first time you skip the stairs, the first time you say, I'm tired, and believe it. But healing, too, comes from small things, from noticing, from trying again, from choosing to believe that this body of yours is not finished yet. Let's gently revisit the 8 signs together. You can stand up from a chair without using your hands. You can walk briskly without getting out of breath. You can balance on one foot for at least 10 seconds. You can sit down and stand up from the floor without help. You can carry a full grocery bag without struggling. You can climb stairs without stopping. You can remember recent conversations and events clearly. You can wake up feeling truly rested and ready for the day. Each one may seem small on its own, but together they form a blueprint for something bigger. Not just how long you will live, but how well. So what do these signs really mean? They mean your muscles are still working for you. Your brain is still protecting your memories. Your balance is still guarding your independence. Your heart is still carrying you forward. And your sleep is still healing you in the quiet. They mean you are not done yet. Now, let me ask you gently, how many of these signs do you still see in yourself? Is it 3, 5, maybe all 8? Comment below with the number. Not to impress anyone, but to remind yourself, I still have so much life left to live. And if you've lost 1 or 2, leave a comment too. Tell us which one you'll begin working on. Because every single improvement counts. Every extra step, every second of balance. Every effort to carry your own life in your own hands. Would you like to go deeper? Leave a comment with the word next. If you do, I'll know you're ready for the next chapter, where we go beyond signs and talk about how to rebuild what you've lost. Because this is not the end of your story. This is just the moment you stopped, looked at your body, and said, thank you, I hear you, I'm with you now. Let's move forward, together. From my heart, as your doctor and your friend, thank you for staying with me. for listening not just with your ears, but with your heart. If this video helped you feel seen, understood, and inspired, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. Someone who might be forgetting just how capable their body still is. And above all, comment below, because when you share your story, you give courage to someone else who thought they were alone. Until next time, may your steps be steady. May your breath be strong. May your nights be restful. And may you wake tomorrow knowing, I may be aging, but I am still rising. We'll meet again in the next chapter. Until then, take care of your beautiful body. It has taken care of you for so long. See you soon. Stay strong, stay kind, stay moving. Goodbye for now.